Topics are in the house with some stuff.
All right.
Welcome to the view. Welcome to the view. Welcome to the view. Welcome to the view.
Hey. All right. Settle down. Welcome to this edition of the MEC View. I'm your host, Terrell McCann, Whoopi Goldberg, one of the hosts, and so welcome to the show. And we have Joy Behart / Michael Walker.
Hey everyone.
And I forget who this other kid is, Robert Sanders.
Hi, I'm Sonny Hostin.
Yeah, Sonny. And we have Abby Huntsman over here, Sam Martinez.
That is an insult.
So without further ado, we're going to get to our first topic. And that is that President Robert Sanders won re-election this weekend by one vote. One vote difference made a difference in the election when his campaign and many other people thought it was over. Nevertheless, he persisted. So I want to get everybody's view on this, starting with Sonny. So, Sonny?
Well, I mean, I think what I think is going on great here, Terrell, is I think what Robert really pulled off in this election is he showed that he can bring back the Progressive Coalition, and the Progressive Coalition won him once again in this election. And I think that's what's fundamental about what happened in season 27. And another thing to bring up is the Conservatives really came out in droves. I mean, you see that Robert lost a lot of the states in the South that he won in season 26 against Ben McKay. And I think the reason is people in the South had an actual conservative to look up to. You know, Ben McKay last time we ran as a moderate. And now that Brett was running more conservative against probably one of the most liberal presidents we've ever had in this community, the Conservatives came out in droves to try and get their president elected, and that ended with one of the closest elections in this history and one of the most contentious elections in this community's history for sure.
Okay. Joy, you got anything you want to say, Joy? Nothing from Joy. What about you, Abby?
What do you have to say, Whoopi?
What I will say is that it was a very interesting weekend and week of campaigning, so to speak. Okay, Anna Navarro, do you have anything you want to say?
Who is Anna Navarro?
What was the question?
So what is your thoughts on the the president
Election.
re-election by one vote?
I think a Brett Patrick deserves a big congratulations for losing by one once again. We could start there, and this is going to be interesting. I think we can all agree on that. And it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
How
honestly,
so, Anna?
God.
Well, Anna,
Okay, well, I'm gonna speak now since Anna went on mute.
Okay, Joy.
Well, I think this was just like almost every other election in MEC presidential history, where it always comes down to the wire, and it's pretty much every presidential election is a toss-up. And as per usual, half of the community is usually not happy with the results in the immediate aftermath of the election. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think there's always, sects of the community, sects, not sex of the community, sects, S-E-C-T of the community that are always against the incumbent president or against the movement that he brought. I mean, if Brett Patrick won, there would be people against Brett Patrick, and it would be vice versa. And we have to unify in the end, because Robert Sanders is our president, and I support our president in everything he does.
We have Meghan McCain here. Maybe she can give us a little bit of insight. Her father lost an election.
Yeah,
So maybe
Meghan
she can
McCain-
talk about, the perspective from the Brett perspective.
Meghan McCain / Stephen Bryant. What's your thoughts on the election?
Well, I worked closely with the Brett campaign, or the Patrick campaign, and yeah, I was a little sad that we lost, but in the end, the people made the choice, and that's what's good.
Okay,
I would have to agree
That's
with that.
that's not explosive enough for Meghan McCain, but
Okay. Well, we're going to shift gears a little bit. As Tom Sanders. Hello, Tom Sanders.
Hello, everybody. I'm here, Sunny Austin. It's me.
Okay. So, as you all know, there is close to being a full Supreme Court, as President Robert Sanders has nominated, and three of his nominees thus far, all three of his nominees have passed the United States Senate. Chief Justice Stevens, who has been sworn in. Two not sworn in yet: Associate Justice Kenneth Quinones and Associate Justice Terrell McCann. So, what's everybody's opinion on the shape of what is looking like for the Supreme Court?
Well, well, just to jump in here first, again, like I usually do, I think that the Supreme Court will be a great addition to this community. I mean, for a long time, we've had an empty court, and, Robert talked about a lot through his term that he wanted to expand the court, and he's delivering on that message. And I think the people that he's putting up, while I don't agree with all of them, are good people that will contribute a lot to this community. I think we should just unify.
All right, Joy.
I mean, I agree with whoever just spoke. I don't know who the hell just spoke. Sunny. Okay, yeah, I agree with Sunny. And the fact that for the longest time this community has not had a Supreme Court to interpret the laws or the policies. But at the end of the day, really, the people who decide, who have the final say in what should be allowed or should not be allowed are the mods. So that kind of, in my opinion, it kind of beats the purpose of having a Supreme Court. But it's good to at least have a body to at least try.
Wouldn't you say that the mods should be involved as little as possible in the ongoings of the political sphere in this community? I think that the Supreme Court is the one that should decide that. And also, one thing that's been neglected by the Supreme Court for a long time, not to disrespect the past Supreme Court members, but just a little bit, they have to mark bills constitutional and unconstitutional. They have to overlook the Senate and House and the executive branch. I mean, we're missing a whole sector of government. We have three co-equal branches of government that make up our country and our country's government. And when we're missing one of those branches, the entire system goes without balance.
Yeah, and I agree, but
that's a good point that you say that the moderators should not get involved in the political sphere. That's why I think it's interesting that the president appointed a moderator to the Supreme Court. But
I think that's very interesting too.
Yeah, very.
And
very interesting.
Very intriguing.
Now let's be clear about this. Okay, let's be clear about this. We're talking about people who have been in democracy and been in government for so long, and some longer than others. Some have a longer serving time than others. But let's be clear about this. we have to be clear about why the president did this. Obviously,
Wait, hold on. What do we have to be?
we have to be clear about
Okay.
this.
I just want to make sure we have to be crystal clear, right?
We have to be clear about this.
Okay.
There must have been some intention behind these. So far, these 3 appointments that the president, these nominations that the president has made, there must be some intention why he chose the individuals that he did. So,
Well, I think that the president probably did have an intention. I think that intention was to fill the court. I don't know if he had any political intention behind that, if that's what you're insinuating.
well, does Anna or Joy or anybody else have anything to say?
Yeah, I got something to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Supreme Court next should be like the one in real life, where we have different ideologies of people serving on the Supreme Court. Like we have liberals and conservatives on the Supreme Court in real life. Like for instance, the notorious RBG and Elena Kagan on the liberal side, and Neil Gorsuch and Clarence Thomas on the right side and conservative side. So
Okay, well, I didn't know if you know this, but the president is my father. All right, the president is my father. Just want to say that.
okay,
And I think that he made his decision based off of, like, he chose people from different sides of the spectrum. He chose Chase Stevens to be the Chief Justice, and Chase Stevens is someone that my father disagrees with on a number of issues. But uh, I don't think I think that the court is being chosen from different ideologies. I mean, we have Kenneth as a more liberal member of the court. We have Terrell as a more sensible, moderate member of the court, my favorite member of the court. And then we have, what's his face? Chase Stevens as the Chief Justice of the court, one of the most
yes,
conservative members of this community. I think that's what the president's intentions are in choosing these nominees.
well that's
Now,
fair, but in my opinion, mods should be neutral when it comes to elections. Like I know Mr. I'm sorry,
Mr. Polifile.
uh, Pulafile.
sounds like
Yeah,
pedophile.
Pulafile ran for D9 House and won.
Okay, can I just
know.
bring up a hot topic for a
trying to say
second?
that.
Not on my note cards, and I'm sorry to the producers, but can we just bring up this hot topic for a second? I heard a rumor that Ben Polifile is actually a pedophile, and he was just elected to the House of Representatives.
To succeed me,
Do you think
actually,
that-
now that you say it.
Right, and he's from my home state, so I take this very personally. Very personally.
I do too.
And the people in my region of the country, New England, deserve a representative who doesn't pedophile children.
You're
Okay?
exactly correct. We don't need a Roy Moore in the
We do
house.
not need a Roy Moore in the House. So I posed this question to the table, and again, sorry to the producers for not using my note cards. Should Ben Polifile be impeached for allegedly pedophiling a child?
Absolutely.
Well,
This is not the Vatican.
let's also be clear about this.
This is
Well,
not the Vatican.
let's also be clear about
We do
this.
not tolerate that type of behavior here.
Let's be clear about this today. If there was some type of allegation, wouldn't there be an investigation getting ready to happen into that allegation?
And there should be investigation. I mean, I heard this from InfoWars, so I know it's true.
Well,
I heard it as well. Oh God, Breitbart said it as well. They fact checked it actually.
You know what? The Daily Wire said it. Ben Shapiro. You don't believe Ben Shapiro?
well, you know.
He's a genius, you know.
He's a genius.
Since we're talking about hot topics, let's do a real hot take here. What is? I wonder what the president's view is on having a nominee, or excuse me, a person confirmed to be an associate justice on the court, also remaining in the Senate to vote on another associate justice. Is that not a conflict of interest?
I think that Kenneth hasn't taken the oath of office yet, so it's not a conflict of interest because he hasn't accepted
But
the
it's
role.
interesting.
He's accepted the role as justice yet. Do I think
Well-
that he should resign his role as a senator until he accepts that role, until he accepts that oath of office. Yes, I do. And
But there
I'm
is
sure
no
my father
precedent
feels the same way.
showing. There is no precedent showing that that has happened before.
Where's the precedent showing that he has to resign his Senate seat as soon as he gets confirmed as the Chief Justice?
Every Chief Justice or Associate Justice nominee has done so in the past in MEC. So I find it very intriguing that he was allowed to vote. By the way, vote against a potential colleague he would have in his future job. I don't know if that was for personal reasons, as many people are speculating, or for political reasons, but it is quite interesting and probably something that the Department of Justice or the Judiciary Chair in the Senate should take a deep and interesting look at, because we do want to make sure that we are being held equally accountable.
These are
And I'm sorry, if you're a nominee and you take a hearing, that means you want the job.
these
So
are
so he can say that he wants, he took the hearing and he could still stay a senator. That's fine. But you should have taken yourself out of the confirmation hearing if you were intending to take the job.
I agree. I think if he before he voted on that on the confirmation, he should have abstained from that confirmation due to that conflict. Yeah, I do think.
Well, these are words from inside the.
Well, here's the other.
This
thing
is words from
that
inside
was.
the.
Here's the other
yesterday.
thing that was communicated earlier today. Was that he was going to pass a resolution that would not make what he did illegal. So even he himself earlier today made that it was not legal or moral. All I'm saying is, if he's going to appoint people to the Supreme Court to uphold the law, I don't think he should be appointing people that are going to manipulate the law to benefit themselves.
But this had happened.
That's a hot take.
This had happened after he had been confirmed.
It doesn't matter. So even after he was confirmed, he did break the law, and he openly discussed breaking the law to make sure that he could change it as a senator at the current time to make sure he could not be prosecuted. For someone that's going to be
I'm getting a text message from my father right now, and he
for
said,
someone who's being tasked to protect the law, that is very shameful, and he should not go to the Supreme Court.
Here's the words from inside the hearing room yesterday. Take a listen.
I think it should be investigated.
Here, take a listen.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize me fucked up. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsay said all, because I voted for them.
Tell them Lindsay said all.
I would never do to them what you've done to this guy.
For you.
This is the most unethical
unethical sham I've ever known in my entire life.
You sure as hell wouldn't have done what you done to this guy.
Sure as hell wouldn't have done what you
Those
done.
are words from inside of the hearing room yesterday. And we have here with us, who was present at the hearing, we have the PPT of the Senate, Senator Malik Diaz, here as a guest. So welcome, Senator Diaz. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So as one who was at the hearing yesterday, can you tell us, can you give us an overall gist of what happened at the hearing?
Well,
Go ahead, tell the truth. Go ahead.
It was a crazy hearing. Out of all my 3 years in MEC, I've never seen a hearing quite like that before, and I keep on repeating this, and I've been repeating this since last night. That hearing, some parts were pretty uncalled for. As I said, as you were there, Terrell, as I even interrupted some people's lines of questioning, saying that they were out of order, because some of them were completely out of order. But
and can you talk about the exchange between Deputy Attorney General McCann and Senator Quinones?
Well, hold up. That itself, that whole part of the hearing, which was like literally in the first 30 minutes of the hearing, in my opinion, it was still uncalled for from both sides, as I said last night, and I didn't think it was really needed or wanted. And that's really all I can say.
And And also, does anybody have any questions for the senator? I know the senator
I
has
do.
been.
What was it like to be in such a raucous hearing for one of the most prestigious uh, seats in our country? I mean,
It
what a mockery! From what I've heard, this was a complete mockery of the process. Is that true?
I could agree with you on that, yes.
Who do you think was mainly responsible for this behavior last night?
I won't be calling out names. You know, as I said, every senator had the right to ask questions, but the nominee, as I said, had the right not to answer questions if he felt like he was being belittled, which I believed he was.
Will senators that had poor behavior, obviously poor ethics and poor behavior in that, almost a complete disregard for Senate decorum. I know Senate decorum, almost a complete disregard for Senate decorum. Uh, are they going to be held to account by the Senate Ethics Committee?
That's up to the chairman of the ethics committee.
I have a question. I want to bring this question up for discussion because this was one of the questions that was asked in the hearing, and I know Senator Diaz felt had something to say about this particular question as well, in regards to the case in 2018 where the owner of a bakery.
Oh, this one, the Masterpiece Cake Shop v. the Colorado
Yes,
Civil Rights Commission.
yes, where the
I will say this, and
yeah.
is
Well,
it about
I'll
this?
get to the what the question was basically. If anybody knows the case, the I believe it was the owner of the bakery had denied a gay couple a was it a wedding cake?
Yes.
And many people, particularly the particular senator that asked this question, believed that it was discrimination that the owner denied these people um, of a cake and proceeded to say that it is discrimination, in which the law granted that the baker was in the right because of his religious. He said that because of his religious identity, that he didn't believe in that, and they ruled in favor of the baker. So, Senator,
Mhm.
can you go into
Well,
detail? This is just an open discussion for
of course.
everybody to join.
As I said, this was a 2018 U.S. Supreme Court case. I agreed with the baker, and I'm gay, and I agreed with the baker. I believe that the baker didn't have to make a wedding cake if he believed it violated his religious beliefs. And what the senator of District 4 said, the junior senator of District 4, was saying it was discrimination. Of course, I kind of got into the argument because it started getting out of hand, especially when the senator brought up Mr. McCann's race into it, and which really was unnecessary and very uncalled for. The junior senator of District 4 brought up the 1950s and segregation in schooling and in the workplace, which once again, we've had many laws, and I don't think the senator even knew about Brown v. Board of Education or the Civil Rights Act of 1966, which Mr. McCann brought up, or even the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment to the United States Constitution. And the gentleman of the senator of District 4 continuously attacked Mr. McCann and brought up something about his race, which was very uncalled for and not really necessary.
So, in the bringing this up, this is an open discussion, and I'll just say that earlier on, that senator came out in a public chat and said that Deputy Attorney General McCann's interpretation of the Constitution on that particular issue was wrong when Mr. McCann said that he believed the baker was in the right based on the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. So it, it's awfully good because in being there and being the nominee and a senator talking about my race in regards to that particular issue, it made me feel type of way regarding how different people see our country and that many senators, not just not the entire Senate, but senators would go to the furthest to bring up race, and I would have to agree with Senator Diaz here. It was just um, uncalled for, and it's unjust. And me personally, I believe that on that particular question, um, I was owed an apology. Um, because my race was brought up, I still haven't received that apology. The senator did vote nay on my confirmation, of which I can say because that is a public record. So, really, where do we draw the line at when it comes to racism? Because in a way, when you're bringing up somebody's race like that, I mean, it can be taken as racism.
It is my interpretation. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are the first of your kind to be on the Supreme Court, correct?
I am the first of my kind to be on the Supreme Court.
Well, we don't know what race Judah Klingsberg was, but yeah.
I believe Judah was not.
Wait, hold on. Pause.
What?
Deval Patrick considering entering 2020 Democratic primary.
Hell, that is not happening.
Anyway, I think Judah Klingsberg, I think we can assume a lot based off the name alone.
Yeah.
Mainly the first syllable of his first name. A few of you got that.
Yes.
I got it, but I just didn't want to laugh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You laughed at a Jasper Lee joke last night.
Breaking news. Real quick. Former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick.
Fuck off! I just broke that breaking news. I'm literally the Meghan McCain of this show.
A entry into the Democratic primary. But anyway, back to paid scheduled programming.
That's really annoying.
So anyway, well, Meghan McCain, it's okay.
I just came up with the best thumbnail for this video.
Meghan McCain. Anyway, so back to Mr. Martinez / Ana Navarro.
Racist. What was the question?
About racism in our country. Really, does racism still exist? As we saw, that what happened last night could be taken as a form of racism.
As the head of the Department of Justice, I will say racism is dead. I'm kidding. No. It's still around. It's a thing. But getting back to it, the senator from, is it District 4?
Yes.
He is wrong.
Wait, are you talking to me? Oh, wait, I'm not senator anymore. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I will call him out publicly. He is wrong. It's perfectly fine if you want to interpret the law a separate way, but the fact of the matter is, it's a law. It's been ruled on by the actual Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So for the senator to actually say the Supreme Court was wrong, sure, you can have that opinion, but at the end of the day, the law is the law. That's what they ruled. You have to respect it. So for him to go around saying anyone that disagrees with him disagrees with the law and doesn't know how to interpret it, that's an issue. And if that's how he really feels, he should probably resign from his seat, because Lord knows he hasn't done anything anyway.
Well, it's not like he's gonna win his primary anyway.
Well, and is it at that point?
Look,
if that particular senator is even, if that particular senator is even apologetic for that, because he
no. And here's the thing: when you left that when me and the other senators deliberated after your hearing, he said he wasn't going to apologize. He said he had nothing to apologize for. As I said, and I disagreed with him, and I called him out in the call, and I said what you did was completely wrong, uncalled for, and shouldn't have even been brought up.
We would like to welcome half-active Vice President Ethan Davis.
Hello, Ethan. Welcome to the discussion. We're talking right now about racism.
I have to add Martha McSally. Stop adding people to this call. I'm literally making a thumbnail right now.
We welcome you. We're on the topic of racism, in particular senators, for what happened last night in the confirmation hearing. Basically, a senator, the junior senator from D4, who I think, if you know, it's not Jasper Lee, it's that other guy, basically referred to my race in asking a question, and said that he finds it hypocritical that I, a black man, would agree with basically agree with the law and the ruling of the actual Supreme Court. So the question is really, when does this stop? And we're actually talking about that particular senator. So Senator
Look,
Diaz, can you
yeah,
proceed?
look, that senator brought up a case from the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals of the United States and called it a Supreme Court case. First off, the questions that the senator was even asking, I couldn't even understand myself. They were already asked, like, Mr. Shabazz's question last night that he already asked before, and before the senior senator of District 4 asked. And it's not really, I'm just there. I ask my questions, but I make sure that my questions are reasonable, smart, and actually have a bit of background on them. And they can be understandable. The junior senator of District 4 really didn't know what he was doing. And I told him that last night.
And so you've been there the entire you were there the entire confirmation hearing.
I was there for all 3 confirmation hearings. And I have to say, I was there for all since Chase Stevens, yours, and Kenneth's. We didn't treat Chase or Kenneth the way we treated you. And like I said, and like I apologized to you multiple times, even during the hearing.
You did. And here's what I will say, because
So let's make this interesting.
Yeah, I was going to get ready to say, because yeah. I was going to say, and we're gonna do this on air. We're gonna do this on air. I really don't have a problem with this. So thank you, Robert. But let me mention something.
Now I have to add Paul Ryan to the thumbnail too. Great.
Well, you actually have to get ready to add. I don't know who this person's profile picture is anymore. It used to be Sherrod Brown. So based off that, I think you all know who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, Adam Evans.
So anyway, one thing I will say about that particular hearing was the fact that, and I did mention this, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be very blunt. I was never treated like this when I went before the United States Senate for my Deputy Attorney General hearing. I was not treated this way, particularly because a particular D2 senator was not in the Senate. It wasn't until this particular senator became a senator when things started changing, and I was treated the way I was, of which... by that, and I may be wrong for saying this, but I'm just stating my opinion, in a way could show where the toxicness started.
What happened was, when he first got his line of, and 2 lines of questioning shouldn't be able to take 3 hours.
Yeah,
that was just too long. When he got his line of questioning, fireworks just erupted in the Senate, in the committee room, and it got out of hand so fast.
I will say this. We did start fireworks, and you did mention those on both parts. But when you go to the extent to pull out a quote, and you only pull out the first part of the quote that makes you look good, it doesn't really make you look good, because it shows that you're only pulling out things that benefit you, and not telling the whole truth. I remember that specifically because the senator had pulled out a part of a comment that I made, and just took out the first part and totally disregarded the last part of the question, to which made me also upset and say, if you're going to tell the whole truth, then tell the whole truth. Don't just take out things that benefit you. So ultimately, what we saw last night, I want other people to join in. I also want to welcome the owner of this community, former President Adam Evans. Welcome. Ultimately, my hearing and my confirmation was basically a tooth and nail fight. I'm pretty sure Malik can attest to that. It was a tooth and nail fight.
But like I said, it was both parts. There was times, Terrell, where I told you, stay calm, let them talk, and then you wouldn't listen. But of course, I understand that you were raged, you had rage, you were mad, etc.
Of course, because any nominee that feels like they're being badgered, I would only expect that they would be frustrated as I was, because you're being badgered as a witness.
And we do have the junior senator of District 2 here. Which, maybe
telling one story. I was watching your live.
I'll let him explain himself.
Oh, this is glorious.
Okay. First of all, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone has had a delighted day.
Uh-huh.
Anyways,
Here we
while
go.
I clicked on the live, I played it all the way back until it started.
I'm sorry, Adam,
And
but you're Abby Huntsman. I'm so sorry.
and I
That's
started
tough for
to
Adam.
pay attention to what everyone was saying, especially from Sam from his little comment. So this is how it
Of
started.
course you are, because you're obsessed with me. But continue.
That is disgusting. Anyways, so this is how it started. I believe
Disgusting.
when
So disgusting. Donald Trump.
DSG. See, that's a perfect example when I was trying to talk.
Oh
Perfect
boy,
example.
please shut up. Nobody
So
cares.
when DSG asked, I believe, one question, one or two, probably three, and it came to me, I first asked 3 or 4 questions if to get if Terrell can confirm the 3 questions that I asked, basically about Alabama. One here, I actually took a picture of the little notes I was taking. So let me go back to the Senate thing. But anyways, I asked 4 questions just to get a confirmation that he indeed did say that. And as soon as we reached the 4th one, the 4th question, before that, he started questioning if I was hearing properly. Oh, you got it all wrong. But I was paying close attention to what he was saying because I like to take down notes on when it comes to confirmation. So I did 4 questions for a follow-up to confirm if that was accurate. As soon as we reached to the 4th, that's when everything happened. Yes, there was fireworks and explosive. Literally, it was Iraq in there. And
that's a heck of an example, Kenneth.
Yes, it was Iraq in there, and I'm not going to lie. Both sides did wrong. I did wrong. Yes, but I let him speak. So I was on mute. I let him speak, and then when I tried to speak, and this is all honesty, and Maliki, you were there too. When I tried to speak, for the first 10 seconds, I got interrupted, and then I went back on mute.
Because you started out the first 10 seconds being wrong, but okay.
No, ma'am. So the
Yes,
hearing,
ma'am.
I wish this hearing was really recorded.
It is recorded.
Everyone.
It's being posted on the MEC CBS News channel.
Great, or we can just have a role play. But anyways,
No, you'd
yes,
enjoy that too
I
much.
did. Yeah, be quiet. I'm talking. Anyways, I
Who made
voted
you the HNIC?
myself. Anyways,
well, that sounds tough.
So I voted abstain. One, I judged based off his performance, and without a doubt, I don't question his knowledge. He's going to learn throughout the time he's in there, and he was totally honest with all the senators that I give him to. He was all honest. When he didn't know a case, he said, "No, Senator, I don't." We gave him a brief background on the case. We asked his opinion on it. Perfectly fine. That, in my opinion, is how a hearing, hence my past hearing, should have been ran. But a senator just decided to throw like 25,000 cases in my face and ask if I know them or not. But anyways, that's another
For the record,
story.
I threw 3 cases at your face, and you didn't know any
No,
of them.
you did not. You
landmark.
threw 10.
Go ahead, watch the tapes. Watch the tapes.
Threw 10.
Watch the tapes.
Yes,
there were
ma'am.
3.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Go
ma'am.
ahead, watch them.
Yes, ma'am.
I
They're
know
on
you
YouTube.
like to alter the truth.
Someone find the
I know.
tapes. Someone find the tapes so we can play it on the show.
I'm pretty sure it was more than 3, but I'm just.
Anyways,
we don't. I'll go find the tapes. I'll go find the tapes. Because online decided to
Hey, let me just say this. I'm Whoopi Goldberg of the show. So when you hear my bell,
You sound like her too.
No
So.
crosstalk. Okay, so when you hear
I'm
my
taking
bell,
over as Meghan McCain. Stephen Bryan is a totally failed Meghan McCain.
Hey.
Totally failed.
Hey, when you hear this bell, you will stop crosstalk, and I will reorganize. Well, hear this bell right here.
Can't shut me down.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. I guarantee you.
Well, then I'll just yell like I usually do. So anyway, continue, Senator. Or Associate Justice. We don't know because you haven't resigned, but anyway.
I did not take the office of Chief Justice, which it brings up another point, what Sam said, but that will be, I don't want to take up too much time for me talking because I'm pretty sure everyone here wants to talk on The View. But yes, the
Are these
senator
shows
was
only supposed to last
chanced.
30 minutes?
Yeah,
This view is way different. This view is to get political
Terrell was
discussions done.
transparent. He was honest if he didn't know a case or not, and that I give him credit. But anyways, I'm pretty sure everyone else has numerous other topics to talk about, so I'll just be in here
I
on
have
mute.
one thing. I have one thing, and here's what I want to mention. And the reason, and I want to give you a little bit of background. The reason why I mentioned what Sam mentioned about conflict of interest on that part. There is no precedent set about when you are one who has already been confirmed to the Supreme Court. And I brought this up in my hearing. Malik knows I did. I brought this up, and I questioned why, and it was just me being inquisitive, and also out of being inquisitive and being angry about what was going on. I questioned the why the senator was asking questions, as he was one who had already been confirmed to be on the Supreme Court. To which, at that point, I gave it up. I said, it's whatever. He has the right to ask us questions. But that was just something that I intended to bring up at that point in time. Because to me, if you ask my point of view on it, it can be seen as a conflict of interest. It can be seen as just that, a conflict of interest. But anyway, anybody else got anything they want to say? Welcome, Adam Evans.
I'll take note to that, Terrell.
Yeah, well, at this point, it's not about what happened in the hearing. It's about what we're going to do in the Supreme Court and moving
Alabama
forward.
update. Alabama update.
Jesus, this call has...
Yes, Malik.
Nah, I'm just joking. I don't have an Alabama update. But the Alabama Supreme Court is going to be reaching a decision pretty soon. So,
well, here's a hot topic in the news.
Antifa. They allowed incest.
Antifa. What's going on with Antifa?
So
everyone's position on Antifa? Anyone have a position?
I will say this. Next event, we're going to have some alt-right Nazi group. Just saying.
Oh, my.
Let me read... let me read the situation that occurred. So breaking news: 2 have died after an Antifa protest became violent.
That fits way too well.
After conservative author Jordan Schwitz held an event there. Among the victims are 19-year-old Ricardo Gonzalez and 27-year-old Chester Babcock, both of which were part of the Schwitz fans waiting outside. Some people have been apprehended as possible suspects, including 30-year-old Michael Halpert and George Roberts, a 24-year-old. We are yet to learn more. So right now, that is what's going on. 2 people are dead after an Antifa protest. And interestingly enough, by a conservative, it's because of an event with a conservative author. So, yeah, anybody want to comment on Antifa? I know the Department of Justice has released a statement regarding that particular situation. So there have been multiple statements from multiple people, including former presidents, about this particular situation. So, does anybody want to comment further?
Can I call out a public official?
Also, by the way, before you do that, it's snowing.
Can I call out a public official?
When you hear my bell, go ahead.
Oh, I want to call out the D1 representative-elect who keeps thinking he's the representative at this very point in time. He needs to calm the hell down with his Russian priorities behind his back. For some reason, he's saying essentially...
Russian.
For some reason, he's trying to tell everybody that because 2 people die domestically, we are all in complete shock, but 2,000 people die abroad, and it's not a big deal. I don't think that's what's going on. I think people are just trying to figure out what's going on. No one knows what the hell's going on because whoever did that report is an idiot, does not know how to spell or use grammar. But beside that, I think it's idiotic for the representative-elect to try and make a huge assumption on everybody when in reality, he is kind of an idiot. Hot take.
Ad hominem fallacy. Go to hell.
Epideli made the report. Throwing that out there.
Oh, you threw him on.
Whoops.
Don't act like you never throw anybody under the bus.
Epidely
And I stand by that.
Epidely made the report.
Epideli 1 or 3.
Whichever. I didn't know which Epidely.
Oh, Malik, which one was it?
Explain the event. Oh, he made one about a.
No, which Epideli?
I think there's only one.
No, there's 3.
I think it's. I think it's D4, right? D4? No,
D4?
D4 is Ricky. I don't know. I don't know.
That's not.
So anyway, we got more hot topics. We got a question. Was this season's election, season 27, was it rigged?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that there was.
Adam's here.
I think it was pretty obvious there was a significant portion of fraud votes for Senator Patrick. I don't think Senator Patrick.
Adam's here.
I don't think Senator Patrick orchestrated those votes. However, I think that there was a number of core hardcore supporters of Senator Patrick that ended up, thinking.
I mean, the same thing happened with Ben.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the policies and the
Ben's
party attracts a certain voter.
Johnny, let's be fair. Ben's brother voted.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, sorry. I'd like to clarify.
Ben's brother. It was Ben's brother.
It was Ben's brother. Jackson Montgomery.
I haven't. So, we're going to take a real quick break. We're going to look at our weather forecast. In the north right now, it's snowing. Detroit, and yes, I did say Detroit. Detroit has a lot of snow, big snow. Ohio, they're northeast Ohio, they're getting it. Up in New Hampshire and the northeast, some of them are getting ready to.
Well, I'll take the New Hampshire news. I mean, right now we're experiencing some a cold snap. We have about 32 degree weather right now, so that's enough for it to start snowing. But it's going to start raining. I think that storm that's down in Ohio is going to sweep up the northeast corridor and go right in towards Boston, where Boston will probably be hit the most, where it usually is, and then southern New Hampshire will be mostly.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Exactly. Yep. So just stay safe on the roads, and as always, when it rains and it's this cold out, there's a possibility of black ice. So watch out for that black ice, right?
Thank you for the New Hampshire report. All right, welcome back.
Wait, what's black?
We didn't even get to do a California report.
All right, let's go over to.
Well, hold on.
Valley.
There's just another warning about black ice.
Okay.
One time, black ice was. I was just walking on the street alone late at night, and black ice decided to.
Is that a Key and Peele skit?
All I'm going to say is black ice should be away from the Supreme Court.
Hey,
Whoa!
Wait, what did you say?
Over to our California reporter, Malik Diaz.
I got a question. Why is it black ice, not white ice?
Well, I mean, white ice is a lot nicer.
Because it's worse.
Because you can't see the black.
It's worse.
You can't see the black ice when it's at night.
Yeah.
So I mean, the white
It's
ice
like
is nicer. Yeah.
You know Black Spider-Man?
Yeah. We don't like
It's
Black
like that.
Spider-Man. We don't like Black Spider-Man. We like white Spider-Man.
You know Black
I like
people?
Black Spider-Man.
Well, we don't talk about what.
I swear, when we all try to get a job, this is gonna come back.
Well, the fact that we say that, I think, puts us in the clear.
I
By
didn't
the
say
way,
anything.
Just as a preface, this is all jokes.
It's not.
You hope it's all jokes.
You hope it's all jokes, but in reality, we're all extreme right-wing nationalist racists that all support.
Yeah, Terrell's a member of the KKK.
That's gonna get taken out of
You know
context.
what? I am a member of the KKK, the cool kids club.
Exactly.
So,
Okay.
You're right.
All right, on to California weather.
The Central Valley's fucking hot. San Martinez, your turn. The Bay Area.
We have a drought.
Yesterday was foggy as fuck and averaged at 50 degrees. And today it is 75. So help me explain that.
No one here is from Southern.
And that is your California weather report. Oh, and we're still on fire.
Get some water.
Lindsay said all of jazz for.
We're in a drought.
When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsay said
California borders an ocean.
So, all right, welcome back to The View. We're going to get ready to get spicy here. All right. MEC Governors is going, many hope MEC Governors is going to be a thing and implemented soon. What are your takes on MEC Governors?
I support it fully. I think my father did.
I think we're too small.
I support it.
It's really good, but I think that if we implement it, we should probably cut Congress down a little bit.
I agree.
Well,
I mean, Congress has not gone down in size like ever.
Yeah,
which is weird considering that our activity is like half of what it was at its height, when we had significantly less seats than we do now.
I honestly support that. I mean, if we decrease the amount of seats in Congress, then we can increase competition, which increases engagement. And
here's the thing: when you keep, and the thing about governors too. It's the thing about governors. When you keep adding more positions, there's not going to be so many. Like this last Senate race that I was in, everyone ran unopposed, which was ridiculous.
Well, but considering that certain senators are up for re-election.
Well, I guarantee. And here's the thing. And the thing I like about the 12, I mean, I didn't support the 12-week Senate terms.
I still don't.
I don't either. I don't think it was even necessary. But I think what that can do is there's probably going to be more of a demand to be in the Senate. So there's going to be a lot more campaigns for people that want to be in the Senate.
Well, can I mention this? This is going to be unpopular, but I don't care. You know, every time you all listen to, not anybody in this call really, but every time people listen to an idea, and it comes from generally the same person, every time.
Term limits.
No.
That guy? Is it that guy?
Yeah, that guy who did
I
term
knew
limits. Yeah, I'm going to say his name, Ethan Fitzgerald. Every time you listen to an idea Ethan Fitzgerald has, it ends up sometimes going to crap.
Look,
so I think the problem here is everybody keeps listening. Oh, Fitzgerald, that's a good idea. Yeah, and once it happens, oh no, we don't like it. We need to get rid of it now. Okay, well here's an idea. Stop listening to him then and being slow.
Pop off.
All right, now add Fitz to the call.
That's pretty tough.
I double dog dare you to add Fitzgerald to this call.
With term limits,
he won't join.
With term limits.
Well, that would prove your point. So
I mean,
there's no reason not to.
They got rid of presidential term limits, meaning a president. I don't know if we still have them. I don't know if.
QJ was the one that signed that law.
Well, because he was pressured into signing.
Yeah, he was pressured. I remember. I was there.
I told Quentin to veto the bill.
You sound too much like Obama.
But see, he was threatened, and here's my thing.
I remember.
He was threatened and pressured to sign that bill, and I was in the Senate, and I said, QJ, don't sign the bill. He signed the bill because he was pressured by people like Ethan Fitzgerald, Tom Kirkman, and others who supported the bill.
I told them to veto.
Maybe we don't elect presidents who can be pressured.
I was president when they started. It was like my last week in office, and that's when they started talking about removing presidential term limits, and I came fully against that. I said term limits. A president shouldn't be president forever. I think that's something that the founding fathers didn't want, is a president to be president forever.
And then again, it shouldn't be like a same cycle of the same people. That's what I've been saying.
And that's
especially toward the latter part of my career here. Like I've been saying, it's been revolving around the same groups of people over and over again. And some may say, oh, because they're not competent, well, give them a chance, will you?
Well, that's a fair argument, but I don't think it's the best argument. Because
but here's the argument I'm trying.
Let's think. There's like gaming. Some people in this call don't like him anymore, but. You guys have been here for
Well, because when you tell me that I don't interpret the Constitution right, and you say the Supreme Court was wrong because you
Well, let's
believe.
say this. Look, he's been here for 2 years, and this was his first time ever getting elected to public office.
And he done fucked it up.
That's you. And there's some new, like Matthew Voltson kid, ran against me for Senate when I ran.
Florida
he got primaried badly, but he's been here for a few months, and he just finally got elected to a House term,
in which he already started messing up before he was sworn in.
Yeah, and
since we're on the topic of that representative, he just bumped a post because he said, I guess people aren't seeing this post. I was one of the first to react. If you're literally trying to make sure that everyone knows you're the first to react, that's a problem.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, and Steph and Brian, you're a great example. You've been here for almost 3 years, and it took you quite a while.
I'm sorry. What's the who did that just now?
Matthew Volfson, the new D1 in the House representative.
He bumped his own. Okay.
Hey guys, have you voted in MEC Russia?
That political.
Okay, we will not do that.
Listen, let me just say this. And I like the Matthew Volfson kid. I mean, it's good.
No, you don't.
Judge.
There are plenty of the people in this damn call you fucking hate with a passion. Don't even.
Here's the thing. I like the kid.
I like the kid.
I like the kid.
But I don't.
I like many people.
I like him, but I don't.
In this call. But here's my thing.
Oh my God! Wait. Sorry, we're calling out Matthew Voltson. Let me jump on the train real quick.
Shit.
And hold on real quick.
That poor man's tail. I don't even.
Hold on real quick. It's good to see new people elected. But when you're gonna be elected, you're gonna start making statements about stuff
Not
like
when
this.
they're stupid.
I think you kind of need to dial down before because re-election for representatives comes quick, and it comes quick, and people remember things because you only really are representative for 2 weeks, and then you got to run for re-election.
Should we talk about gay rights? I'm kidding.
If he does that crap in the House, I'm gonna get a proclamation up to get him expelled because that's just stupid.
I think,
guys, we have a real Russian asset.
I actually just read what Matthew Voltson said, and I gotta say, and Terrell even knows because we even talked about it in the hearing last night that I had a friend that was in the Gilroy shooting in 2019, and I think what he said was, huh?
I said, oh, here we go.
Yeah, and I think what he said is completely distasteful. It's just wrong. It's horrible. It's bad. First off, I don't even think it's 25,000 people who die in mass shootings. I think it was 40,000 last year who died in shootings in general.
You know how many die in New Zealand in mass shootings? Or Australia? Fuck, I messed it up. Never mind.
Big time.
Jesus Christ.
Not as bad of a mess up as gaming his life in a confirmation hearing. And I whoop.
And I whoop.
No, but you know what? And we did talk about that last night. But the problem is that nobody likes to call people like Matthew Volfson now, except for now when, again, and just as I spoke about Ethan Fitzgerald called him out.
You like calling everybody out.
I don't know.
This is fact.
Here we have the elite of MEC calling everyone out.
Shut the fuck up, Nathan. I'm calling you out right now.
Oh, no. Whoa.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Whoa. You're wrong. Whoa. You're wrong.
Somebody, please.
Wrong about what? I can't fathom what exactly we're wrong about.
I actually thought Nathan was talking. I'm not even joking.
Why does the Lauryn Hill picture on the screenshot kind of look like a young, skinny Lizzo?
I don't know, but I don't know.
Sam, who dumbs down your post? Because I think they blocked me, so I can't see them.
Infinite.
Oh, I blocked him.
Infinite fucking blocked me. He blocked me for no reason.
No, I blocked him because
that pisses me off.
He was mass reporting people's accounts, so they got deleted. And I was like, oh, hell no.
Oh, I'm glad he didn't mass report my account.
But can I just say, let me just say something else here. If and in any case, stop. People need to stop pulling this crap like Matthew Volfson is doing. I mean, it's just
stop siding with a foreign government, Trump.
Yo, fuck Donald Trump.
Make America great again.
Make America great again by electing Bernie Sanders for president of the United States.
That's right. Save the planet.
$15. If your work is not worth $15 an hour, you should starve. That's my actual opinion.
Oh, by the way, Terrell.
Yes, ma'am.
N-I.
G.
Fuck Joe Biden.
S.
Joe Biden's a racist.
Joe Biden's a racist.
He supported segregation. That's not a joke. Look it up.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, back to the view.
Comments with their non-facts.
So
Kamala Harris locked
and
up
Barack
most of her
Obama is a
supporters, prove me
racist
wrong.
as a result.
Barack Obama drone striked children.
He killed thousands of people.
So now the MEC Moderators Administration has now released a new form of voting. Voter ID code. You have to have your voter ID code when voting.
Also, just a little thing. Just these codes are very interesting. The way people select their code, Jesus Christ.
Mine is.
Anyway.
I almost just said mine.
Who wants my voter code? I'll sell it to you for $5 on Venmo.
Guys,
anyway,
let's figure out in this chat right now how we can rig elections.
Okay. But anyway.
Can I?
Kenneth would know. Kenneth, explain.
Yeah.
Can I put some swear words next to a person's name as my code?
No one ever
said no.
Yeah, no one said no. Do notice that. No
All right.
No.
So Adam is no longer Abby Huntsman, by the way. It is now John Uberfeld.
Okay. So anyway,
right.
let me just say this, and let me just say this.
Let me say this.
Uncle M has risen from the grave.
My question is this form getting voter ID codes? Do you think it is going to cut down on the amount of fraud?
It could.
I think it's a possibility. I think in T-Pon they do a very similar thing. It's what the mods based it off of, and I think that it prevents a lot of the fraud in T-Pon, and there's significantly less fraud in T-Pon because they don't have to run through every single ballot, checking every IP, which the moderators will still do. But on top of that, they'll have voter codes that'll streamline the process even more.
I'd also like to call out the lack of English skills in question number 4.
I'd like to call out the lack of English skills in that post in general, though. Just...
I didn't go that far.
If you live in America, speak English.
I'm sorry.
Wait, can I just read this? Can I read question?
This is American. We speak American here.
We speak American.
I'm gonna read.
Get out.
Please create your own favorable but also rememberable voter ID code. You will use your code for every time you vote on the ballot box.
My code is revenge fucking.
Example.
Oh my god. Jeez. See, I'm telling you, these codes are interesting.
Okay. Here's a question. Hey, Kenneth, if you're on the Supreme Court, are you gonna step down as mod?
Who that came from?
Tough questions. Not actually tough, just MSNBC tough.
Hey, MSNBC asks good questions and don't even check their donor list.
Saturday Night Live
don't even check their donor list.
I'm checking the donor list.
That's a question, Kenneth.
You can expect an announcement. I'm making a post tonight, so
okay.
I'll talk to Adam.
I have another question. Did you just make that post because they asked that question?
No, it's because the leadership and appointments to the Senate.
So,
okay.
let me.
I believe you.
Okay. My next question. Does anyone here believe that there is such thing as gay rights?
I do. I think that gay rights are human rights.
Of course you do, you fag.
Whoa. Hold on. That's enough. Let's
Lord have mercy, Kenneth.
Let's calm it down a little bit, Kenneth. Okay.
I want to point out the irony in the MEC chat where Ricky is saying that he needs other people to acknowledge their wrongdoing.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
That's funny.
Ooh.
And I oop.
But anyway,
Can I get an NI oop in the chat?
Hey, can I get an NI oop?
And
fuck Trump.
But let me just
fuck Donald Trump.
NI oop. Fuck Elizabeth Warren.
Shout out to Eminem.
let me mention this real quick. You see, you got a lot of these people who say, "Well, I need some people to admit their wrongdoing," when they the main ones doing wrong.
Shout out to Tom Steyer and his ads.
Yes, Tom Steyer.
George Soros is my hero.
I love George Soros.
No, he actually donated billions of dollars to poor people.
That's good.
I'm not lying.
Terrell, how much did you get?
None.
You didn't get every poor person. Though.
All right, so back to people call. Oh, I have to add Adam.
Okay, so here's another one about. Here's a. Here's a another question. Is tomato a fruit or vegetable?
Shut the fuck up.
It's objectively a vegetable.
It is a fruit.
It's disgusting.
No, I'm sorry, a fruit. I got it mixed up. Fruit have their seeds on the inside.
Yes.
Strawberry
yes,
is a vegetable.
Too.
Strawberry is a vegetable.
Peppers are fruits too. Yes.
Peppers are
Celery.
fruits.
Ketchup is really good.
Ketchup is a fruit.
Tomatoes are really disgusting.
So does that make ketchup a form of jam?
Jelly?
Kind of.
I think
Like
ketchup
preserve?
is tomato cum.
Nathan Terrell, check
in other news.
Okay.
Can we talk about for a second how... Okay, let's get into real news. Can we talk about for a second how moderates think they can enter the election this late and still take away support from Joe Biden?
Here, you guys
No, can we talk about how they think that they can
You got darn
walk
socialists,
into
don't
this
say
election, buy the election, and take away support from Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, and Elizabeth Warren? It's not going to happen.
Everyone's hyping up Bloomberg. He's going to get 1%. Mark my words.
Bro,
He's going to get
mark
1%.
my words.
He's going to drop out in 2
Mark
months.
my words. Deval Patrick won't make it to Massachusetts.
Bro, who is that?
He's fucking Terrell's profile picture.
Listen,
We were literally in the middle of this.
Unnecessary attack.
At least Deval Patrick. At least Deval Patrick. Hold on.
It's a billionaire. No.
At least Deval Patrick won't die on the campaign.
In a just society, billionaires wouldn't exist.
At least,
Exactly.
At least, listen, Nathan. At least Deval Patrick wouldn't die on the campaign trail like Bernie Sanders will.
Bernie Sanders
That's
is
ageism.
Bernie
That's
Sanders.
ageism.
Bernie Sanders has a 5% chance of having another heart event in this year alone.
Yeah,
and
this year. But what about the next 5 years?
It goes up by. I was just about to address that, Nathan. That chance goes up by 3% every year.
It still goes up. Look at Joe Biden's.
Everybody's chance of having a heart attack goes up.
Applies to
every
literally
time you eat a cheeseburger, your chance of having a heart attack goes up. That's an idiotic argument.
Socialism at its best right now, folks. You see the
Shut the fuck up, capitalist.
You see the socialism right now, folks. You see it.
Look at it. Look at
You
it.
hate
look
poor
at it.
people.
Look at
We
it. Look
will
at the
not
socialism.
let socialism
The socialists are crazy. They're crazy. They want poor people to have jobs.
They're crazy.
Wait, is that actually Donald Trump?
They want poor people to have jobs. Okay, they're crazy. And look, Stephen Bryant leaves as soon as we started talking about capitalism.
Crazy socialist.
Look, at the end of the day, Alexandria Gorsuch.
This is where Megan McCain should have jumped into the
Meghan
conversation.
McCain, great woman, great person. Deval
Do you have any
Patrick,
comments, Steven?
Yeah, sorry, I thought someone was knocking at my door.
Deval Patrick won't be the
Terrell,
president of the
not
United
it.
States.
Not
Ever.
it. That's not it.
Joe Biden will never be president. Mark my words. Never.
Joe Biden
Never.
supported segregation.
Joe Biden supported segregation.
He supported segregation.
Joe Biden locked up millions of your
Terrell.
family
That sounds like
members.
a meme. It's not. Google it.
What?
Anything you say, John, sounds like a meme.
I know. That's why I'm telling people to Google it.
So you know what? And I've learned from some people here. Nathan, what's that word that rhymes with orch and Anki?
Jigaboo.
I said, hi, horse. I said, my name is Terrell.
Wait a minute. Nathan, what's that word you just said?
I said jigaboo.
Jesus Christ. What's that other word did you
I have
always
no
use?
arguments against them.
The C word.
I'm not saying that one. You say that one.
Johnny. Remember that word?
Cunt?
Yes.
Well, this has been.
That is exactly what I was thinking. Thank you.
The view is no longer the view. I think we should
This
end
has
it now.
been an illuminating
No.
debate.
You cannot end this.
This has been an
Joe
illuminating
Biden
debate.
hates black people.
This has been an illuminating debate, but now it's time for
Corn
closing
pop.
statements. Okay. So any final closing words?
We are going to make America great again.
Okay, you're going to make America white
We
again.
are going to no. We're going to make America great again. We're going to bring jobs back. We're gonna legalize every drug. We're going to legalize every drug. That is Robert's only failure in life.
Don't sell your homes.
No cap. Gonna negotiate with terrorists.
We're gonna negotiate with Osama bin Laden's corpse. We're going to pull him out of the ocean.
We're pulling him out of the ocean and negotiating with him.
We're gonna put his skin on an actor.
Moderates deal with it. I'm negotiating with Osama bin Laden's body.
We are going to undo 9/11.
Look. I'm gonna be looking into Nathan's situation, Sam's situation, Steven's situation, Tammy Buckworth's situation.
We're gonna rebuild the Twin Towers in Syria just to rub it in.
I'll look into your final subpoena.
And I'll look into your financial situation, okay? Why won't you release
what finances?
Why won't you release your tax returns?
We're gonna raise your taxes,
The same reason
bitch.
why Trump won't release his tax returns.
You haven't commented on the net worth post.
Collusion.
You have
comment on the post.
Collusion. Comment on the post.
Because
anyone that hasn't commented their net worth,
hold on. I want to call out everybody.
Is correct.
I want to call out everybody who says, especially a certain senator who says he has a $26 billion net worth. Yeah, you haven't even been elected. You only been elected illegitimately.
Wait, who is
to
it?
the Senate, and you already have 26 billion, or is it
My
26
father
billion?
My father is very humble, and he only has $1.6 billion. Okay.
Well, we're here calling people out on their net worth. I'd also like to continue the Matthew Volson bash session and say, how can you sell a house for $800 million? That's a real question.
Because it's slow.
He's Russian.
Guys, why did we elect a foreigner into the Congress?
Well, according to one of the moderators,
Ask
you
Ivor.
can be involved in two different communities at the same time.
Well, look, at the end of the day, butterscotch is the worst type of mint.
There's butterscotch mints?
Yes.
Why? Because it's dark?
That's fucking disgusting.
Is it because
That is exactly why, Sam. It's dark and it has a bitter taste.
That makes me want to kill myself.
Oh my god.
Speaking of, how? Never mind.
Speaking of, thank you for joining.
What?
Thank you for joining The View. We had a great discussion here about a variety of issues, and we will surely be back another day.
Yes,
hopefully tomorrow.
This show should be called The Blind.
We are awaiting resignation.
That's insensitive.
We are going to be looking into the current topics on many issues in the future, and we look forward to having you join us on The View again. Thank you for joining us.
Heidi
Have a
Allen's
good
an
night.
alt.
Cool.
Good night.